Coming up on Your Money and Your Life, how to deal with financial stress in your relationship. A beginner's guide to ETFs, a government scheme helping first home buyers save for a deposit. Plus, in Kochie's Budget Challenge, a family welcomes a new member and finds some much needed bill relief. Hello and welcome to Your Money and Your Life, the show that's all about saving, spending, investing and enjoying your money. My mission is to make sure you make the very most of your money, that you're getting the very best deals on everything from home loans to credit cards and to petrol. Today, we're starting off with Kochie's Budget Challenge. Every week, with the help of the team at Compare the Market, we show real families how to find better deals on their biggest bills and save potentially thousands of dollars. Let's meet Emma and Narayan. Adelaide couple Emma and Narayan have just welcomed their third child under 4. It's an exciting time for their growing family, but childcare fees and living expenses don't come cheap. Let's see what we can do to help. Emma and Narayan, how tough is it at the moment with 3 little kids as well and a newborn? How are you juggling it?
It's pretty tough.
Yeah, it's tough. It's the life-work balance with the kids as well, trying to get them entertained as much as we can. It's been a struggle, but we're battling through it.
Yep. What are you finding your biggest financial pain points at the moment?
Honestly, all our outgoings. Our groceries, our bills, a lot.
Energy.
It's almost across the board, isn't it? You're getting hit from everywhere.
Yeah, it just feels like maybe we were putting a bit more money away previously, and now everything's just gone up, all our bills. There's no wins anywhere.
So what have you had to cut back on?
Entertainment, we don't really go out, so we don't really do much, but that might be the newborn life as well.
Yep.
And we have our children in childcare, but often we have to call on parents who can have them on a day instead, so we can just save some money there.
Because I've got to say, even with rebates, childcare is enormous, isn't it? I did the sums for my kids and worked out that childcare on a daily basis, you pay more than private school fees for year 12 kids.
My goodness.
It's outrageous.
Yeah, I didn't realise that until I started looking at some of the numbers as well, how much it actually was costing.
What about your financial goals? What have you set yourself?
Short term, probably another holiday. Haven't had one in a while, but with or without the kids would be nice. Right. But long term, probably looking a bit more into schooling for kids as well, and maybe future, a bigger house for each kid to have their own room.
Let me tell you, I reckon a lot of people can relate to your situation. Everyone's going through it at the moment. Hey, the team at Compare the Market has gone through your bills. Let's see if we can find a few dollars to add to that holiday savings account. Where's your dream holiday?
Ooh.
Where can we send you?
I'd like to go to Japan, but you would like to go to Italy.
Oh, whoa, okay, all right. Let's see what we can do. Come and have a look.
Great.
Financial stress can have a devastating impact on relationships. According to Compare the Market, 1 in 5 people said money issues put a strain on their relationship with their partner or spouse. 1 in 10 said financial problems damage their relationship with their parents. Here are some tips to help ease that financial stress. First up, work as a team with your partner. Money matters are a shared responsibility. Use open communication and honesty as you work out how to confront your financial problems. Next, educate yourselves. To jointly manage your finances, each partner must have a basic understanding of money. Start reading books or listening to podcasts about money to increase your knowledge. Develop a plan. Create a budget which will show you where your money is going and where you could cut back. And finally, save what you can. Start by setting savings goals with your partner. Talk about where you want to be financially and how you're going to get there. Stay with us after the break, understanding exchange-traded funds. Welcome back to Your Money and Your Life. Now, investing in the share market can be daunting for first-time investors, but one way to ease those fears is to consider investing in ETFs. Now, ETFs, or exchange-traded funds, are a bit like managed funds made up of multiple securities or other assets, but unlike traditional managed funds, they're listed on the stock exchange like a share, so making them easy to buy into and sell out of. ETFs are growing in popularity, with 20% of stock exchange investors holding one or more ETFs. So what exactly are they? Why are investors flocking to them? Well, for more, I'm joined by Andrew Weiland, Director of DP Wealth Advisory and commonly known as the ETF Whisperer. Andrew, how are you? Welcome.
Thanks, Kochie, for that understated introduction. That's great.
All right. What's the major difference between ETFs and, say, managed funds?
So managed funds, as you just said before, is unlisted. So in part, they could be considered to be a black box. Not all of them, but you might see the name, but you don't actually know what you're getting. Whereas an ETF, they're far more transparent generally. You know what you're getting, and an ETF is following a passive index most of the time. And again, we're having a passive conversation here. There's over 350 different ETFs, so there's different flavours, but in the context of the question you're asking me, passive ETFs follow an index, whereas a managed fund, it's more a fund manager taking a particular
Stock
interest.
picking and things like that. So what, you could have ETFs that mirror the All Ordinaries Index, or ETFs that mirror the Australian Gold Index, and just invest in those shares.
Correct.
Is that what you're
So
saying?
as you know, we do a little bit of work on the call together on
Yep.
AusBiz, and I've spoken recently about MVB, or the Van Eck Bank Index.
Right.
And as we know, banks have done incredibly well over the last 12 months. But do I buy a National Bank over Commonwealth Bank over Westpac? Which one do I choose? Or I simply buy that index which has all those banks plus Macquarie and a couple of others. So instead of just buying the share market, I can take a particular view on an index that I think will do particularly well. And it's not just Australian shares I can do that with. If I think that the US is the place to be, and with due respect to Australia, we're excellent with banks and we're excellent with miners, but we're pretty weak on technology. Perhaps I might want to invest in the S&P 500, the broader US exchange, the top 500 companies in the US, and use an Australian domiciled ETF to actually do that. And so that's open to investors as well.
So it mirrors indexes. So when index go up, so your ETF does. When they go down as well. So you understand that. What are the big benefits that you explain to your clients of an ETF rather than an individual stock?
Old style portfolios might have 8 to 12 companies, banks, resources, Telstra, Woolies, Wesfarmers. That's a very simple, nothing wrong with that portfolio, to be super clear.
Yeah.
But it has what we call concentration risk, because you've got 8 to 12 companies. And basically, if something starts going wrong with one or more of those companies, then that's going to start dragging down your performance.
Right.
Whereas if I have an ETF portfolio, and if I have 3 ETFs, or if I have 5 or 7 or whatever the case may be, there might be anywhere between 50 to 200 to 1,500 companies within each ETF. So all of a sudden, I've moved myself away from concentration risk. I've got a greater diversification across a range of sectors as well, a better frequency relating to dividends in some occasions. So it's really a way to give yourself a more rounded portfolio.
So when you choose an ETF, what are the main things you look for?
So again, we're having a passive conversation here, because remember that there are many different flavours of ETFs. So in a passive conversation, all we're really looking for is what index do I want to follow?
Yep.
If I'm looking at the ASX S&P 200, the top 200 companies, I can just buy one ETF that does all of them in one go. Do I want overseas exposure? So which particular one do I look at? Do I want to think about hedging versus not hedged? Where's the dollar going?
And look at performance and fees.
Performance to a degree, but to your point before, relating to markets do what markets do.
Yeah.
So the fees are really important though when we're looking at a passive one, and there really is a fee arm race going on at the moment in passive investing.
Andrew Lyon, ETF Whisperer, thanks for joining us.
Thanks, Kochie.
In this week's Word on the Street, we asked what you think of buy now, pay later platforms.
Yeah, I do use buy now, pay later platforms.
I am a fan of them. Oh, actually, I don't really use any. I might try it maybe one day, but not at the moment.
I actually don't use any buy now, like pay later
I
platforms.
feel like they're quite good for when you want to buy something, but you don't want to make the full investment yet.
I just think it puts a lot of people in debt
I think if I have the money behind me, then I like to see it come out in little installments instead of one big chunk.
Ordering clothes without having to like pay for them, and then I can try them on and then return them if I don't want them.
I just like to save, and if I have like enough money to buy something, then I buy it. But if I don't, I just keep saving.
I never have not enough to pay for it.
I do think the platforms are helpful, but then I do think they can also be like quite like risky for some people who like decide like who don't pay them off.
After the break, a government scheme that can help first home buyers save for a deposit. Welcome back to Your Money and Your Life. Well, with Australia in a housing affordability crisis, entering the property market has become trickier than ever for first home buyers. Saving for a deposit can be a mammoth task. One option that could help is the government's First Home Super Saver scheme. It allows you to make voluntary contributions to your super fund at a lower tax rate to help you save up for your deposit. To find out more about this scheme and whether it may be an option for you, I'm joined by financial planner Claire Mackay from Quantum Financial. Claire, what are some of the advantages of this scheme for first home buyers?
The best part about it is it segregates your money. So if you want to save, but you go, oh, I want to save, but I also want to go on a holiday, by putting it into your super, you can't pull it out for a holiday. It can only be used to purchase a home, or if you don't choose to do that, it stays in your superannuation and you can use it for retirement.
So it's good discipline.
It's great discipline, but the catchphrase is if you can't change your mind. Once it's in, you can't get it out again, except to buy.
So is it just for people who want to save up for a home themselves, or could parents put this in as part of their superannuation scheme to save up for their kids?
So it has to be the person who is the first home buyer,
right,
whose account it goes into. So it has to be so superannuation is an individual member balance, so it has to go into that person's member balance. Technically, you can't have your family member put the money in for you into your super account. You should have to do it yourself. So if it goes from your parents to your bank account into super, and I know some people who've sat there on the computer with their child to make sure that money does go there.
Yep.
That's a great way of parents being able to help out.
Oh.
And again, the money can't be used to go off to Fiji or Bali, and if it's not used, it stays in super.
That's a really good idea, isn't it? What should people consider before using the scheme?
So if you're looking to buy in the next 6 to 12 months, it probably doesn't make sense. There's a bit of effort to do it. There are obviously going to be fees within your superannuation fund compared to just saving outside of super. And you have to be quite disciplined about, once you sign your contract, you have to make sure that you tell the ATO there's a time frame. You can't pull the money out after you've settled. You have to make sure the ATO timetable is met. So if you're looking to do something in the next 6 to 12 months, I probably wouldn't bother. But if you're young and you have an agreement with your family, or you're wanting to be really disciplined about your savings, it's a great way of doing that. There are also caps. So the total amount you can take out is a maximum of $50,000. So you can put in $50,000 over X number of years and take it out. But there's another cap, which is each year you can only take out 15 grand.
Oh.
So if you put in 20 grand this year and 10 grand next year, that's a total of 30 grand. You can only actually take out 15. So you can actually only take out 25 of that 30 grand. I don't know why, it's just one of those idiosyncratic laws that they've put in place.
It just doesn't seem necessary, does it?
It doesn't, but that's one of the rules. And these sort of rules, you've got to meet them. So there's,
Okay.
I'd love to be, if anyone has a lazy 50 grand around, it would be great to be able to just pop it in 1 year and forget
then
about it.
take out the
You can't
50
do that.
all at once.
No. So if you as a parent have said, I'm going to help my child up to a total of 50 grand, over 4 years you can put that money into super.
Right, okay. Does it have any impact on your superannuation going forward?
Yes.
To take that money out?
Well, you're not taking out your government, your mandated employer contributions. This is only money that you have put in yourself.
Right.
So, the compound interest. So if the money that's earned on your super is growing because of these additional amounts, what you take out, the ATO calculates a deemed rate. If you've earned more than that, that's great. It stays in super. But if you've earned less than that, then you're able to actually eat into some of your other balance.
Okay.
So there are some rules there. The fees you will pay may also go up, obviously, because superannuation fees are based on an account balance.
Right.
So you want to check that you are actually in a good fund to begin with. And if you don't go and buy a house or you inherit a house, so therefore you're no longer a first home buyer, you can't access it, so it stays in super.
Right, okay.
But it's an individual thing, so if you're a part of a couple, you can both do it, and one person can do it and the other person doesn't have to. So there's a bit of flexibility there.
Any other options?
We just save it as you normally would.
Yep.
The issue for some people is that they don't have that discipline. They want that discipline. It's like people saying, I don't want to eat chocolate, but if it's in the house, I'll eat it.
Right.
So it's set away. So what we typically say for people who are doing it with their own money, not family money, is do your periodic saving, and then at the end of the year think, the end of the financial year, do I feel comfortable putting some of it, tying it up into super, because I don't have that goal of buying a home for a few more years.
Right. Claire, great advice. Thank you for that. Good to see you. After the break, we return to Kochie's Budget Challenge and see how Emma and Narayan can save more for their 3 kids under 4. Welcome back to Your Money and Your Life. Let's return to Emma and Narayan, our Adelaide couple with a gorgeous new bub. We've gone through their bills with the experts at Compare the Market and found some big bill relief. All right, Emma and Narayan, let's see what we can save in terms of some of your big bills and put it towards that holiday.
Yeah.
We've looked at all of your bills. Big area for you is health insurance, of course, with the size of your family, 3 kids, but Emma, the band is complete?
The band is complete.
Okay, all right. Knowing that, and remember all of these are just thought starters for you to have a look in. You're currently on a gold health insurance policy, which of course includes maternity and obstetrics and things like that. So if you don't need maternity and obstetrics for gold anymore, it may be worth having a look at, say, a Silver Plus plan, because that covers you for 30 hospital treatment categories and extras, including dental and optical as well, and could reduce your premium by as much as $2,000, bit over $2,000 a year. Big difference.
That's huge.
Yeah.
Yep.
That'd help.
And we've also looked at Bronze Plus policies as well. A little lower level of cover, but still includes hospital cover and for some dental surgeries, as well as ear, nose and throat services. And those options are starting at just under $4,000 a year premium. So that would be reduce your premium by almost $3,000.
Yep.
Yeah, that's a lot.
Well, wasn't really expecting such a big jump.
But understand, if you do decide to go again, and number 4, you're thinking about, and you want to go back to gold, you'll have to reset the waiting periods.
Yep.
So
I think
have
we're
a think
safe.
about that. Emma, that's a very determined, I'm very safe.
Yeah.
I'll be getting the snip before that.
All right, let me check whether the snip's including it. I'll need to get back to you on the snip. Moving on to car insurance. Pretty good car insurance on your Mazda, so well done on that. But there may be another way to stash some more cash in your savings with a couple of tweaks. The team at Compare the Market crunched the numbers, and if you can afford to increase your excess to $900, that would save $200 off your premium per year.
Okay.
And finally, your phone plan at the moment. You're paying off a couple of phones at the moment. When you do that, we found a phone plan that essentially doubles the amount of data on your monthly plan for $17 less per month. But
Right.
if you were looking for the identical data allowance of your current plan, you could save even more. Switching to another provider could save you about $27 a month. That's $324 a year,
Okay, great.
which is
Something around, definitely.
big. And for 2 phone plans that you currently manage, the saving is around $650 a year.
Right.
So when we've looked at it all up, with these tweaks, depending on the changes you're willing to make to your existing policies and plans, you might be able to reduce your household bills by more than $3,000.
Wow.
Great.
It's a big saving,
It
isn't
is.
it?
Yeah.
That helps with holiday, helps with childcare fees.
Yep.
And because you've been so lovely to deal with us and for having us in your home, Compare the Market as a little surprise for you as well. They're going to add $1,000 in cash
What?
towards that travel account as well.
Oh my goodness. Thank
All
you
right.
so much.
So
you.
that gets you, I think, at least a couple of airline tickets to somewhere romantic, to Japan for both of you. So
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
So enjoy, and thank you for having us.
Thank you.
It has definitely opened the eyes on a few things, and we're looking into it for sure. Thank you.
That's all we have time for today. I hope you've enjoyed this episode of Your Money and Your Life. For all the latest money and investment news you need to know, head to ymwhale.com.au, and while you're there, subscribe to my free email newsletter, which is delivered to your inbox every Friday. Thanks for joining us. Next week on Your Money and Your Life, the 3 greatest wealth winners on the Australian share market. How to recognise and change your beliefs about money. And in Kochie's Budget Challenge, I meet my money match, a savvy millennial who loves a spreadsheet. But has she got the best deals?